Good morning everyone, and welcome to my Tooltip Tuesday. This time I'm going to attempt to do a video, so please bear with me. I was very excited to see that so many of you bought the Border Maker system this past couple months. So I wanted to just take a minute to talk about it, give you some of the lingo so that when you hear what people are talking about, you'll understand, and then do a quick border example for you. So first off, this piece right here is what is the Border Maker system. This is the housing unit, and this is the guide with the ruler. So the housing unit is what you use for your BMCs or your Border Maker cartridges. These are the bread and butter of this system, basically. Every collection, or close to every collection, will come with a designer BMC that matches that collection. So the new one with Spring Soiree that's come out is the water cans BMC. So it's a Border Maker cartridge. They call it a BMC. The BMC slides into the housing unit with your prongs on the outside. This is what allows you to punch down your border. So now let's talk about the guide and the housing and the guide and the ruler. On here, I don't know if you can see, but I have numbered. But if you'll look, there's a little tiny arrow. Hopefully you can see it on all of these, all the way down the ruler. They're I think it's like 2-inch or 1.5-inch increments, but maybe it's 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So underneath is the guide. This is how you line up your paper. You spread this out, this flips up, your paper slides in, snaps it down, it holds it magnetically. You flip this back, and then you take your cartridge and you line the notch that's on your cartridge with the notch that's on the guide, and you push down, and then you go to the next one and you push down all the way down to the bottom. And that's how you get your border. Okay, so let's talk about a couple things. These are terms you're going to hear when people are doing videos or when people are talking. First, all this garbage that came out when I punched, people refer to this as punch poop. And this one's pretty boring, but I punched one earlier that you can see has stars and squiggly lines in it. A lot of times people will use the punch poop as decorative elements on their page. They may need to add stars, or they may add squigglies, or they may add hearts or mittens, different things that are punched out from inside their cartridge. So this is punch poop. All right, let's talk about the different punches. There are 3 different kinds of cartridges. The first one is called a chain cartridge. This cartridge will come completely off of your paper. So I've already punched this one, and you'll see it came all the way out. If you look underneath at the cartridge, you'll see that it's not attached anywhere. So this is called a chain BMC. So sometimes if people are doing a video or you're looking at a sketch, it'll tell you to choose a BMC chain style BMC. That's what they're referring to. They're talking about a cartridge which punches out an entire border all on its own. It's not attached to your paper. Okay, chain style. The next kind is a knockout punch. This is the new one that just came with the Border Maker system. If you look on here, you'll see the silver is on the top and the bottom. That means it's still attached to your paper, but it's knocking out all these different shapes. That's why it's called a knockout. So here's an example of it that's punched. It's still attached to my paper, but it's made a really cool design on my paper, and I can either just leave it like this, or I could trim it into a border or a strip if I want. This is a knockout style. So again, you may hear people refer to a knockout punch or knockout BMC. The last type of BMC, and the kind that we're going to use today, is an edge style BMC. And here's an example of that. So if you look at this, it's attached on one side, but the other side is open. So that's a BMC. That's a edge style. So here, hopefully you can see it. It's still attached to my paper, but it's only attached on one side of my paper. And again, you can just leave it like that as a decorative edge, or you could again cut it and add it to other border maker cartridges or other borders. All right, so those are your three kinds. This one, knockout, it knocks out all the pieces, but it's attached on both sides of your paper. This style, edge, takes off one side, but it's still attached to the other side. And the third kind is a chain. Everything is disattached. That's not a word, but you understand what I mean. It's not attached to your paper. All right, so today I thought we'd do just a quick little border. I am going to use the rustic fence. Do you remember what kind of this is? Let's look at the back. It's attached on one side, hopefully you can see it, but it's not attached on the other side. So if it's only attached on one side, it's called an edge style border. Rustic fence is one of my favorite border punches. I use it all the time. So the first thing we need is our guide. Put our paper, line it up, flip that back, flip that back. Now we're ready to punch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's my edge. It's one side, other side open, edge style. Tons of punch poop left over. Just move that out of the way. For this particular border, I am going to cut it down to about, I'm going to cut it at about 2 inches. So I'm lining the top of my picket fence to 2 inches, just shy of 2 inches. All right. So here's my border. Now I've already cut some dirt. So I'm going to add some dirt to the bottom of my border. The reason I'm adding this dirt, you guys, is that I bought probably 5 packets of the Birds and Blossom paper, and it had this bird nest on one side and dirt on the other side, and I literally have 10 pieces of it left. I apparently don't like this paper, so I am going to try and use it as much as I can. Now I'm going to take a punch. Hopefully you guys have seen this. There are little black lines where you line up your paper. Once you punch once, you end up with a design. On your punch, there's a design, and so you line the design up to punch the next section so that it is one continuous chain. So hopefully you can see I've lined it up there. Alright, so now I have my leaves, my vine. I'm going to put the vine on the base of my fence and my dirt. I'm just using repositionable because I always have to reposition things. Did pretty good there. Oops. See, this is why I use repositional, you guys. All right. Now, I've previously punched, I had a flower punch, and I've previously punched some flowers. Oops. And I'm going to add those along here to my fence. In odd numbers. My mother is very insistent we always use odd numbers. All right. Like that. Just add a little fun, spring fun. I'm curious, for those of you that have bought the new BMC, if you've used it or if it's still sitting in the box. I have a really fun class that I'm working on. Hopefully you all will join me for as my guinea pigs, and it's going to use the picket fence BMC, which is an edge style BMC, and that's what we're going to use to do several different, just show you several different ways you can use that picket fence BMC. So hopefully you'll join me. All right, so there is my quick and dirty little border. I've already done a layout, or started a layout, with the new Spring Soiree collection. And you can see here, I'm just going to continue my border across the second page. So as you can see, it just adds a little pizzazz to your page. So hopefully you guys will get it out of the box. And if you have any questions, please let me know. But hopefully this explains a little bit. Mostly I was worried about the terminology, the housing unit, the guide and ruler, edge style, chain style, knockout style, BMCs for Border Maker cartridges, and the Border Maker system. So if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy your Tuesday. All right, bye guys.